Halo Mas Aidil.
Hello, Mas Kobar. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mas Aidil. I'm sorry I'm being late because Zoom need to update.
Of course, no problem.
Oh, video. Sorry.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, how are you feeling today, Mas Kobar?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good, Mas Aidil. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Thanks for asking me back. So, thank God this is a premium account, so don't need to quit and be right back again. We'll stay here for until the class ends. All right, so for today's discussion, it's going to be about issues and families. As you can you see my slide already, Mas Kobar?
Yes, I'm Mas Aidil.
Yes, I pick in issues in family because we actually have discussed two of them in the beginning. We have talked about divorce, as well as we have debated about regarding abortion, right? Today, we're gonna be having another discussion regarding issues in family, specifically regarding parenting. Since you are a father, you have your own family. I think it's a really relatable topic to discuss. So let me just open the file and reshare. All right. Can you see my slide now?
Yes, I can, Mas Aidil.
All right. So what is the title you see?
Reward or a bribe?
Yes, can you translate what is a reward and what is a bribe in Indonesian words?
Reward is hadiah, bribe is sogok, I think.
Exactly. So, wait a second. Yes, take a look at the instruction in here. Kimo and Makana have two boys, uh, age 10 and 14. They are having a difficult time getting the boys to help around the house. Maybe you experience the same difficulties or not. I'll ask you later on. Read their conversation and find out what are they planning to do with their children. Go ahead, Russ.
I'm so tired of asking Cam and Tasama to do their tasks. They never do anything. They say they forget or they were too busy with homework.
Mhm.
I know what you mean. Yesterday I was so mad at Cam because he didn't make his bed that I almost hit him. Not a good idea. We've already discussing hitting the children, and neither of us believes that it's a good idea. I know, but what else can we do? I asked my brother for his advice this morning. He suggested that we pay the children to work around the house. What pay them for doing what they should do? Never. Well, that was what I thought. But my mother told me about a plan that has worked in other families. How does it work? I'm willing to try almost anything. First, we make a list of things that the boys have to do each day and during the week. You know, keep their room clean, make their beds, take out the trash, and so on. We put it on the refrigerator so everyone can see it. Okay, what's next? Uh, then we tell Cam and Tasama that they will get a certain amount of money each week if they do all of their tasks. But if don't do all the tasks, they'll get no money, nothing at all. Do you mean if the boys miss one test, they get no money, right? Then they wouldn't have any money for going to the movies or buying comics or anything. Well, I don't know. That plan seems like a bribe to me. Think of it as a reward.
All right. So, have you experienced the same uh, parenting issue like Kimo and Makana or not?
No, not yet, Mas Aidu, because
Okay.
my oldest kid is only 6. So
I see.
yes.
But as a father, as a parent, do you think a kid or your child has specific or particular responsibilities of their own to do some house work in the family?
Yes, I think a kid is so complicated because sometimes they do everything without even ask them to do that. But sometimes we need to ask them to do something multiple times for just one task. Like so, I think yeah, it's complicated, and I think if they are on these ages, 8 or maybe 14, I think yeah, it will be more complicated, Mas Haidir.
All right, as a teenager, uh, as the children, let's go back with your past memories when you were a teenager and you were a child of a parent. Were you given some mandatory households by your parents?
Yes, I'm the oldest son in my family, and my family was so difficult uh, in the past. So I think I experienced this kind of things. They told me to do anything, almost anything that that require maybe buy something or maybe require something or sometimes clean something or sometimes cooking, Mas Said.
All right, and what did you feel about it?
I don't think it's hard for me to do that because I know that my parents were working so hard for us. So I don't think I never I always obey them. So I never experienced this like I don't want to do that, or I didn't want to do something because I don't want to. So I always do what they told me to do.
So you never complain, you just
Never.
wait. Cool. But hadn't you ever felt tired or something like that, exhausted and sick of the hard work that you were entitled to by your
Yes, of course, because they are very demanding to me in the school. I'm always ranked first in the class, not because I'm maybe not because I'm the smartest one in the classes, but because I'm the hard. I work the hardest in the class, so it's I sometimes I feel so tired, but but on the other side, my parents also when I didn't do something they told me to do, not because I don't want to not because I didn't want to do, but because maybe I'm misinterpret their command. They would hit me. so so I think I'm feeling responsible and also scared at the same time.
it must be so hard to
Yes.
experience such tiger parenting issues, but this is really fascinating and problematic at the same time because I do believe that yes, we need to give some working experience for children to do some household, to divide the work, to get team working and responsibilities, to experience such skills, hard and soft skills. But at the same time, I am in the dilemma position because I think children especially we're talking about teenagers, they are having a huge burden in their school, right? They already are given so much task and assignment, examinations, quizzes, homeworks by their teachers, and at home, which supposed to be resting place, a resting place for them, but it becomes another job for them to do or to finish. what do you think? What if I say it's pretty impossible to achieve both? Maybe some cases succeed, like your case. You succeed, you managed to get first rank at school, but also you managed to do all the households. But I think it's pretty much impossible for the majority cases, because I feel like children are children. You know, they need to they need to play. They need to socialize with their friends. What do you say about this dilemma, Mas
Yes,
Koba?
I think you are right, Mas Haidit. I think it's almost impossible to success in work without a cost. I think, Mas Haidit. Not impossible to achieve that, but I think it's impossible to achieve success on both side of them without a cost, because I'm it's impacting the impact to me is also hard, because I rarely socialize with my friends except on the on the maybe campus or school activity, like uh, what is it, pramuka, scout, or
Mhm.
maybe because I'm the, what is ketua OSIS,
Uh,
OSIS lead. So I think I never I almost never socialize with my friends without outside of of those activities. So yeah, I feel the impact now, because it's hard for me to socialize with my neighbor,
mm,
and but it's easy for me to socialize with my coworker in the office. So it's I think it's a big cost to me, like,
mm,
and I always hard to myself, because my parents are also hard to me, were also hard to me, and I realize that I also sometimes I act so hard to my wife, maybe, or
mm,
to my kids, or because I'm a leader in the office. So sometimes I'm hard, so hard at my underlings, maybe.
mhm,
So yeah, that's, I know that it's my fault, but I think it's because of what is the it's because the cause of what I experienced in my childhood. So I think, yeah, you are
mhm.
right, my Saidit.
Uh, did you say you were the president of student council, or you were not?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, Mas Saidit.
but you
In
didn't socialize. You didn't mingle in
Yes, except except in the
meeting.
yes.
Meetings. I see. Yes, that's what I'm concerned, Mas Kobar. I don't think it's possible for human beings uh, to succeed in both, right? In all accomplishments, we need to compromise something. So,
Yes.
for example, if the parents really want their children to have a good score at schools, they need to give parents need to give some space for the children uh, in the house, by not, you know, forcing them to work harder to clean the house, for example, or and vice versa. Maybe if the parents uh, want to have a very diligent child to help them to clean the house, please, I argue that please do not expect too much for the children to get to be the first rank in the school, because those, you know, those are the things that we need to pick and compromise, you know,
Yes.
which one we need to put efforts more on. I think that's something that we parents should understand, but I'm not a parent. Maybe this is invalid because I haven't experienced such difficulties and struggles. But let's talk about uh, this, Mas Kobar. Number one, right? We have some. Yes, let's talk about this passage. Is it bad to give a reward, or is it bad to claim it as a bribe? What's wrong with the title of bribe. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a good trigger for, you know, the motivation for having for creating the good motivation for the children. But what do you think, Mas Kobar? Which opinions do you agree with? Number one, children should do some things for free, like cleaning their own, but they should be paid to do other tasks like washing dishes.
I think they need to do everything uh, that is their own responsibility for free. I think Mas Haidir. I think I understand what Makana say. I always like to give reward to my kids, but I think I understand what Makana feels like. He said that it's like a bribe, because I think if kid only do something because of the reward of because they get something, I think they won't do any. I think there is a possibility they don't do something because they don't need the reward or the payoff, I think, Mas Aidil. So I think children should do everything that is their own responsibility, like maybe cleaning their own on plate, or maybe on dishes or clothes, if they are a teenager, for free, I think, Mas Aidil.
Okay, what I understand from your statement is that everything that the children needs is their own duties. For example, their own bedroom, their own clothes, their own dishes, their own maybe books. They need to arrange them by themselves because
Yes, Mas Aidil.
that's
Yes.
their belongings, that's their own stuff. So it's not for it's not supposed to be paid, right? Because it's for their
Yes.
own sake, right? What about the other stuff, the other task? Do you think there are other stuff that should be paid by parents to their children if they do and finish such things?
Yes, like achievement. So I think if we remove every like tasks that including achievement, like I don't force my kids to be like maybe uh, have a good score in the school, right? I don't want to force them. So I think, but I think we need to motivate them, because it's logical that if someone wants a good grade, they need to uh, learn, like maybe hard or maybe effective, or anything like that. So I think to motivate them to get the good score, for example, we need to give them reward, Mas Aidil.
Okay, so uh, are you saying that by giving this reward for having an achievement will motivate the children to be more to gain more achievements in the future?
Yes, Mas Aidil.
What if I say that the the motivation that will be created in that circumstances will be bad because uh, the children might only see might be motivated only to receive the reward, the money they need to buy their bucket list on Shopee, for example, not because of they really want to be best in the class, or not because they are motivated to win such competitions. Who won winning who winning the competition is just the parents, not the child, maybe. So the motivation is kind of blurry in here. Do you are you saying that this kind of motivation is okay?
Yeah, I think it's okay because what I experienced, I got maybe not so many, but I got some achievement in the schools from elementary to the university, and I don't think they are I don't think they are matter for me. I don't think the achievement is important for me because what uh, what I what I learned uh, what is important for me is the process of the how I work so hard to get that achievement, to those achievement, how I keep motivating myself to get those achievements. So I think the achievement is not is not important at all. And also the to be the best in the I used to think like that. I want to be the best at everything that I can in maybe in specific field that I want to do. So and yeah, in the end, I don't think it matters. All of them are matters, but what is important to me that what is it that can be applied to my career is how 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 we motivate ourselves, how we learn effectively, how we strategize, or maybe applying our strategy. So I think if the kids the motivation of the kids because of some of this of that circumstance is I just want to I want to get a high score because I just want to buy something. I don't think it's bad because in the real life they will do something like that. Like I work because I want to provide my family. I work because I want to buy present to my kids and my wife. I want to buy. I want to work so hard in my career. I want to push myself so hard because I want to buy a house. I think because we need house. So I think it's okay, Mas Aidir.
Well said, Mas Kobar. But I think this is really tricky. If you say that the motivation of achieving those accomplishments doesn't really matter, but the process is, uh, what makes it different? What makes a reward different with a bribe then?
uh, uh,
Because in that kind of scenario, I'm talking about in your worst case scenario, when you promise a reward to your child, if they achieve a, an accomplishment at school, for example, but the kid actually doesn't care about being the best of getting first rank. Instead, they're only looking for your money to buy their stuff. What makes it different to like a business? The parents who want to get the achievements, but the kids want to get the money through the parents. So it's kind of like mutual business, don't you think? It's like a bribe, don't you think?
yes, Mas Aidir. I think it seems like it's bribe, Mas Aidir. But I think what makes them difference how we communicate the motivation to them. If we said that uh, it's complicated. If we said to them like if you want to buy shoes, you must achieve something, blah blah blah, or maybe you need to get first rank in the specific field. I think if we communicate it like that, it would feel like a bribe. But if we communicate like uh, I think this kind maybe like math. I think math is important for us as a human being, and it will be so impactful to your life in the future. So I think math is so important, and I want you to work hard on math, to learn hard on math, and if you can achieve something, I will give you a reward. I think uh, by communicated it differently, it would make different feels, like it's between the bribe and the reward, Mas Aidin.
But what if I say this, Mas Kobar? The children are immature. They don't really understand the importance of the process. They don't really care about the significance of the soft skills, the hard skills that the parents intend them to get to achieve to. So their whole, their whole wishes is just to have the money to buy something they want, because they are most likely the logical characterizations of the children are most likely irrational, right, and immature.
Yes.
They don't really care about this kind of skills. They don't really care about the motivation. They don't care about the learning and teaching process or activities. That's why the parents do this. But how do you think the children will realize?
I think that's a great uh, uh, idea, Mas Aidin. I think that's what happened in the real life, like because sometimes uh, we ask them to do something by communicating it so well, but they are not realizing it because they
Exactly.
are immature, like, and they don't do anything just like what we told them to do so. But I think because their kids are have good memories. I think even though they are not doing exactly what we wanted them to do, but I think they will always remember what we say, Mas Aidin. And I think they will learn by mistakes, because I think if they have uh, wrong motivation, they will get they will uh, they will get something bad that maybe demotivate them, like what I experienced. I want to be I want to be the best. I want to be, but every time I push, maybe I'm winning national competition, but when I want to push to the international, I always lose. And then I realized that there are always people that are better than us, like so I think they will have those kind of those kind of situation, like maybe they will realize that uh, their motivation is wrong. So they will remember, and eventually they will remember what we said in the past, and I think they will relearn how to do it properly, I think, Mas Heidi.
Understandably, Mas Kobar. Yes, although maybe at the beginning the motivation hasn't been placed appropriately yet, maybe, perhaps, most likely, but at least at the end of the day, the lessons, those experiences, those rewarding, bribing experiences will expose them to some lessons and a journey and experiences that shape them to be realized of something important, right, for
Yes.
the future prospects. Exactly. Number two, Mas Kobar, parents should pay their children to do sorry, double house, yeah, to do the housework, and that should be the only money they get. That way, they learn to be responsible.
I think it's the same with number one. I think uh, if the housework is related to what they are what their own belongings, I think they should not be paid, Mas Haidir. But if it's related to outside their belongings, I think it's okay to pay them,
Mm.
Mas Haidir.
Okay, I think this is really easy said than done, Mas Kobar.
Yes, of course.
Ideally, yes, ideally, yes, that's the ideal scenario, right? For the
Yes.
happy family ever after. But talking about responsibility, how number two explicitly tell us that uh, in order to teach responsibility for our children, we need to, bribe them by money, by that, because that way they'll respect, they'll be motivated, and they'll learn the responsibility respectively. But do you agree with this kind of method of teaching responsibility to your children? By
No, I'm not. I don't agree, Mas Haidir, because I think uh, we uh, we as a human learn to be responsible because the impact of our irresponsibility. So I think uh, punishment is maybe more appropriate, like when they don't do something if they do something irresponsible, they get punishment. Or maybe like if they don't want to do their house, what is it, to clean their dishes, and we don't want to and we don't clean their dishes, and they know what is the consequences of their irresponsibility, I think that's more appropriate, Mas Haidir. So I think not through the we don't teach the responsibility by reward or bribe, but by punishment, I think, Mas Haidir.
all right, that's really yes. I noticed there are three how is it? I noticed there are three methods in here: a bribe, or consequences, or punishment. But let's start with consequences. Yes, maybe consequences will work with children who care about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For example, this kind of child is really clean kind of person, and when he or she doesn't do their own dishes, and the parents also do not care, and they want to have meals but no plates, so they must clean the previous plates so they can eat afterwards. But what if this kind of child is not that kind of careful and mindful? They don't care about the consequences. They just really careless kind of person. Maybe if there's no plate, they just eat directly to the from the bowl, for example. Or there's always simplest and minimalist way to resolve this consequences. They are not forced by consequences. They look at other alternatives. What do you say?
I think that's how punishment is needed, Mas.
Mhm.
That's when punishment is needed. I think if we talk about punishment, the simplest punishment is grounding. So they are grounded, because I think hitting the kids are the only way to punish kids, I think. Because even though I didn't like to be beaten in the when I kid, and I don't like to hit my kid, but I don't think it's out of the option. So I think it might be an option, or maybe I can say that it's the last effort. So I think it depends on uh, what irresponsibility that they do, and how many times they repeat it. So I think punishment is okay, Mas Aidin. From from grounding to hitting.
Okay, so I just realized that actually punishment is one of the last phase of consequences for some parents. But let's talk about punishment. You said you don't agree with violence, uh, like such as hitting, punching, and everything, kicking, but instead you want to stick with grounding rules. Uh, Grounding rules, I think we both agree that is, you know, isolating the children in the room.
Yes, yes,
Yes, that's the definition of grounding rules. But yes, again, in the best case scenario, it will work with children who are respectful, who listen to you as the parents. But what if this kind of childrens are just such rebels and can go out by the windows and everything?
I think we can reduce their right, like we don't give the money for
Mhm.
teenager, right? We don't give the money, and maybe we lock their if they have own locker, maybe we lock them, and so they can get their belongings. And uh, and of course the last effort is hitting them. But I think it's the last effort, Mas. I did.
Mhm. Okay. Yes, I think that's the very worst case scenario, right? By
Yes.
limiting the rights, limiting the money, limiting the uh what can I say next? Number three then. Helping around the house is something children have to do. They shouldn't get paid for it. This is what you said, right?
Yes, Mas, I
Mhm.
did. Yes.
But what if I say like this, Mas Kobar? Yes, maybe when you know teach your children that this is your belonging, this is your responsibility. It means your responsibility because you get your rights from me, so you need to do your obligations as well. But without a bribe, I must admit that the efforts would be just standard. Would oh at worst it would be you know less effort. You know what I mean? Maybe they will do what you ask them to do, but it's not effortful. It's not maximally done. For example, you ask them to clean the house, but it's just like, cleaning, like just cleaning, not really intentionally and maximally cleaning the house to make it really, really clean and hygiene, but just to check the list you asked them to do. That's in that case, do you think a bribe will work?
I don't think so, Mas. I did. I don't think the bribe would work, Mas. I did. I think uh, in this kind of situation, we need to tell them that it's not approved or it's not done.
Mhm.
It's not counted as done. So they need to reclean it or redo it what they did, Mas. I did. If they don't want to do it, then and the punishment comes.
Yes. I think we can skip number four and number five, but after all, why do you really hate a bribe so that much, Mas Kobar?
No, Mas, I didn't know. I think just like I said before, if uh, if it related to achievement, I will give them reward or
Hmm.
bribe as much as I can, Mas Edi, because we have budget, right? So I think it's if it's related to achievement or something that uh, we don't want to force them, but it's important. I
Mhm.
think the reward and the bribe is okay, Mas Edi.
Also, a reward or a bribe can only be applied to achievements or academic accomplishments.
Not only academic accomplishment, like maybe uh, like they like what I see in my kid give her toys to his brother her brother, or maybe to her friend. So I think that kind of thing is counted to be rewarded, Mas Aidi.
Oh, so there's something like, sorry for that noise, uh, uncommon habits that you think it's
Yes,
really good example of sympathy, empathy. You can also give a reward for
yes, Mas
such
Aidi.
kindness, but it's not really limited to accomplishments or academic achievements only, right? But if
Yes, Mas Aidi.
but if it's related to their own belongings, their own personal hygiene, they are entitled to control and clean their own for their own sake, don't you?
Yes,
All
Mas
right.
Aidi.
To end up our discussion for the first topic, let's discuss about who is entitled to do what. Number one, cleaning the house.
Uh,
In your
uh,
house, who does the following task, and do you agree with that kind of uh, arrangement, or do you have other alternatives?
is it in the past or now, Mas Aidi?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay. In the past, I think cleaning the house is me and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaning our room is me and my brother. Laundry is my mother. Washing dishes is me and my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Shopping for food is me. Taking out the trash is me also. Mas Aidi.
But do you agree with such arrangements, or do you have other opinions regarding that?
I think it depends on the situation. If the brother or sister is too young, and shopping for food is very dangerous because it needs someone to go outside. Sometimes it's far from the house, so I think it's okay. I don't disagree to go
Mhm.
myself. Uh, uh, Especially when my mother and my father went to work, so I think it's okay. Taking out the trash, I think it's not my
Before
I
that,
think yeah.
shopping for food outside of the house, you think it's dangerous. So it's supposed to be who? Adults.
Yes, my mother and my father is the one who need to do it, but because my mother and my father went to work, then I need to do it myself.
Uh, you know what? I didn't realize about the dangers of it. Now I realize. But before I was thinking that the one who should go shopping is the one who has the bargaining power, the negotiation skill, so they can lower the price. You know what I mean? And that most likely the mother. Uh, but
I got two or maybe three accidents in the past just
uh,
because of shopping for food, Mas Aidil. So
really,
yes,
like
and
accident, like traffic accident.
it affects me in as well, so I can walk so straight because my left feet is
Oh my god!
impacted by those accidents. So yeah, I think
Traffic
it's very
accident?
dangerous.
What was it? A traffic accident?
Yes, a traffic accident.
Oh my goodness. But I think a traffic accident is not only possible happen to shopping activities, don't you?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, Mas Aidil.
Okay. Anyway, next you may go. You may continue your previous. Where were you? I forgot.
Taking out the trash, I think it's the parents' responsibility, but if they are working, so I think the oldest kid need to do that, Mas Aidil.
You know what? To be honest with you, I don't really remember who's your pick as these responsibilities, but I just want to conclude by asking you that who actually can decide this, and why do you think? What are your what are yours? What are your determinations to oblige your brother or a certain role to do a particular job? What are the criterias?
I think it's like if it needs something, it is related to something that is dangerous,
Mhm.
or maybe hard for kids. So I think uh, it's always uh, need uh, need to be done by the parents. I
Mhm.
think it's a general rule. But
Okay.
when the parents are working, maybe sick, then the oldest kid need to prepare to do that, Mas Aidil.
I
And
see.
who create the rules? I think I don't think uh, my parents said to me to do so, but it's just I think it's we as human naturally will do it. I think Mas Aidil, because not only me, my friends also do that.
Mhm.
Will also do that.
Yeah, it's about the awareness, right?
Yes.
Awareness. All right. I think that's the end for this discussion. I think it's very simple discussion, but I think it's very important for talk. It's never a boring discussion to talk about parenting, because I think there's no book for a good parenting, right? I
Yes.
think it's totally different case with all individuals. But let's continue to another discussion. Let me just open the file. Okay. In the first topic, we talk about parenting specifically towards the children. Now, uh, we're gonna focus on the parents itself. Okay, can you see my slide? No?
No, it's just black, Mas Aidil.
Okay, sorry, let me just share. Oh, what about now?
Yes, I can see it, Mas Aidil.
Okay, let me zoom it out. All right, it's
Okay.
about, I think it's related. It's been a while since I opened this file, but I think it's about Panti Jompo, the controversy of Panti Jompo, right? Because
Yes.
it's a cultural differences between US and Indonesia for or Asian in general. The title for the second and the last topic for this month is taking care of mother, Mas Kobar. Toshi is worried about his 78-year-old mother. Read Toshi's conversation with his wife, Midori, and find out what do they want to do for his mother. Yes, please.
We have to face the facts. Mother is too old to live alone. Yes, you are probably right. She is getting older, and since your father died, she seems very forgetful. Mother will need someone to take care of her in the near future. Perhaps we could hire a nurse. Someone who could come in during the day, clean the house, cook some meals, make sure she takes her pills. But nurses don't do all of those things. You're thinking of nurse and a housekeeper. Who would pay for that? It will be very expensive. Well, Toshi, what are you thinking? Since I'm the only child, we have to care of her. She can come to live with us. Here in this house, there are only two bedrooms. We can move our two daughters of their small room. What else can we do? We can afford to hire a nurse and a housekeeper. I'm her only child. Her husband, brother, and sister are all dead. We have to take care of her. Maybe we could look for a bigger house. In Tokyo, that's impossible. We tried looking last year, and everything in this area of Tokyo is too expensive. Let's move away from the city, some place cheap. But then I would be far away from my office. It might from my office. It might take me 2 or 3 hours on the train. I hate to commute. No, the only solution is for mother to live with us here. Yeah.
All right. So what is the problem in this family?
Toshi mother is so old, and he thinks that she's too old to live alone, and then he want he wants to he wants her mother to live with them,
Mm,
with his wife also,
mm,
but his wife disagreed with the idea, because the house is too small to contain the mother, and and his wife suggests that they need to either they need to buy a bigger house, or maybe move to other place that more is cheaper than where they are now, they can get a bigger house to live with to live with Toshi mother.
mhm. Yes, I feel like Toshi really holds the culture of Asian, where children have the obligation to take care of their parents at the end of the day, and the parents also feel the same, uh, where they feel like their children, in a harsh words, I would say, is their investment for the future care, right? But comparatively in the US, I know you know this fact that in the US, it's totally like the opposite, right? Opposite culture where children are not entitled to take care of their parents at the end of the day. That's why in the US we have a nursing home, right? A nursing facilities for elders, and this is actually already set up by the government to be from the cut off from the salary monthly, right? Like we
Yes.
have in Indonesia. Uh, my parents are civil servants, and the the monthly salary were cut off for BPJS and other future insurance. I think something like that. We're gonna discuss more on we're gonna compare the values and the principles between the two cultures, Mas Kobar. We both are Asian, but do you really agree with but do you really agree with this Asian culture, or we prefer to apply the US version? Let's discuss the five alternatives in here. Number one, please read and respond, Mas.
It's too expensive to take care of old people. I think the government should be responsible for taking care of them. I agree with this one, Mas Haidir. I also before my father died, I also have this kind of situation, because my parents were divorced, right? So uh, it and my father were so sick, so uh, and we don't have enough money to provide them, or both of them, right, Mas Haidir? So it's a really hard situation. So I think uh, I think even though I agree with the Asian culture, but it's hard in reality. It's so hard. It's very hard because we need to sacrifice our not only ourselves. Maybe if the consequences is for ourselves, then I think it's okay. But I think it might impact our wife, our children, because they have a right to live properly, right? And taking care of the old people, especially when they are sick, is so hard. So I think I agree with, if government have the facility to take care of them, and we can we can help maybe when they are sick, maybe we can come and help, but the facility can be used for them to live, so we don't have to provide house to live with them, I think, Mas Aidil.
Okay, Mas Kobar. Uh, after listening to your arguments, I found one whole of logic, which is about the government's interests and responsibilities to begin with. At the end of the day, why should government help us? I mean, why should the government facilitate those elders? I'm not talking about civil servants. Is it civil servant or civic servant? Which one the term?
I don't know, Mas Aidil.
Civil,
Maybe civic servant, maybe.
civic servant, yeah, civil servant. All right, it's homework. It's my homework for the next meeting. Yeah, I'm not talking about the civic servant who has served the country for years, like PNS teachers, for lecturers and everything. They they are they are having the right to be facilitated in their elderly because their monthly income has been cut, right?
Yes.
For their service. I'm talking about the individuals who do not prepare for this future insurance, Mas Kobar. Why should suddenly government take care of them, do you think?
Because I think it's in the 1945 law
Mm-hmm.
or UUD. I think it's stated that people that are people and kids that are, what is it in English, terlantar, uh, I think people that can provide for themselves has right to be provided by government. So I think the old parents that is in the situation that can be that their kids can provide them, they are included as those people, I think, Mas Ali. So I think government should uh, should do something to help them, Mas Aidil.
Of course, the all governments have the responsibility to protect the vulnerable actors in the nation, uh, including poor people, low economic people, or low economic society, uneducated people. But I should mention before that I'm not talking about them because these two groups are privileged, in my opinion, because the one who uh, I'm talking about a very wealthy individuals will and are able to take care of themselves. Meanwhile, the very poor people will be provided by the government, right? And
Yes.
also in the I'm talking about the middle class of societies, this kind of layers of individuals. There are two types. Number one, there are three types. Number one, who is like my father, who was a civic servant, right? Like I said, already prepare for future insurance. And also the second type is who is taking private insurance, right?
Yes.
But I'm referring to the third type who doesn't have
Mhm.
anything to prepare. Uh,
Yes.
that's what I'm referring to, Mas Kobar. Why do you think the government uh, still have this mandatory job to tackle all of these layers of societies?
um because I think if they don't do something to help them, it will cause another issues, Mas Aidil, and I think every government leads by someone in the with some politic background. So I think they need to think about how people perceive them politically. So I think they need to do it also. And yes, I agree with you. I think it's not what is it? It's not fair, right? Because I'm as a someone that work in private sector need to be reduced. My salary is need to be reduced every month, every year, like to prepare my future, and the civic servant needs to do that as well. And there are people that don't think about it at all. They don't want to do it, and maybe they best the this kind of solution because they just don't want to think about that. But I think if we ignore them just because of their 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 own maybe their
Ignorant.
own ignorance. So I think it will lead uh, to worse social construct because we will see many I read some news in maybe in the past 2 months that uh, there are in Surabaya. I don't know, there were a dead body. What is it? Uh, an old lady that is died just for maybe 2 or 3 months. That
Oh my.
people that don't know about the situation. They when but some of people accidentally smells smells the house and think that there something wrong. So I think if we ignore uh, those kind of people, I think they will lead another issue to our society, Mas Aidil. They will lead to disease. I think they will lead to people to ignore their parents, and that's a very bad habit, I think, because if we don't want to respect the elder, I think our kids and or maybe our grandkids will also don't want to respect us. So I think it will cause many issues related to health, related to social construct, related to maybe business, like because uh, when I search for house, many people don't want to don't want to buy or rent house that that in the previous that the previous owner is dead in the house. So I think it's also impacts the economy, Mas Haidir.
Wow, this is very comprehensive and constructive discussion coming from you, Mas Kobar. I didn't realize that there are such threats and chaotic problems if the government doesn't care and take action regarding this issue. So I can conclude that this is not only for the sake of those individuals
Yes,
who are ignorant, but also this is for the sake of the nation, for the surroundings, right?
yes.
Yes, I think that makes sense and logically acceptable. But let's talk about the Asian culture uh, that mandate children to not only to respect their parents, but also to take care of of their parents at the end of the day. Number two, please read and respond, Mas.
Taking care of elderly parents is the child's duty, so the child should not depend on other people or on the government for help. I think it's complicated because I think I agree if it should not be the child's duty, right? Because uh, me as an individual thinks that I don't want to be a burden to my kids in the future, so I need to prepare right now, right, Mas Aidil? And I don't want uh, and I don't want in the kind of situation that government has to help me. So I I work so hard right now and prepare myself for the future in to prepare for to those kind of situation. But I think in the other side, it's natural for us when we love our parents or maybe our wife that we will take care of them when they are when they can take care of themselves. So I think it's also natural that the kids will want to take care of their parents, right? So because just because they love them, just because they feel responsible. I think the feeling of responsibility is not is I don't think is logical, but I can say that it's not okay to feel like that, Mas Haidir. So I think uh, so yeah, it's complicated. Yeah.
No, it's not complicated. I guess I clearly understand what you're saying. That's very wise of you. You're so progressive. But I need to be your opposite so you can speak more. What if I say, uh I'm questioning Mas Kobar, why do you think that children shouldn't be burdened for taking care of their own parents in the future?
uh I think because the kids also have future. They might have or their own family, their own burden, right? Their own responsibility. They might be on those kind of situation that maybe like financial hardship, or maybe uh, there are so many situations that they just can provide for themselves, Mas Aidil. So I think the parents are needs to think about that more more what is it more more often because I think so many parents in Indonesia, I think have mindset that in the future they need to be take took taken care by the kids, so they don't want to be prepared, uh,
Mhm.
Mas Aidir. So I don't think it's a good mindset, Mas Aidir.
I agree, but I must ask, uh, what if your parents say like this? You have been raised, you have been taken care very passionately, very, you know, lovingly by your mom, by your dad. But why don't you want to pay back?
Yes, I will pay back as what is it as far as I can, but I don't want to force. Uh, I sorry, I don't want to sacrifice my family because I just did what I just do what they did in the past, right? They take care of their family, and I think it's my time to take care of my family then, and my kids will have their time for the responsibility to take care of their children. So I think uh, we as a kid as kids will pay them as uh, much as we can, but I don't think it's our obligation to sacrifice our family to do that, because it's just our a part of responsibility, because our main responsibility is to take care of our family, I think, Mas Aidin.
But parents are your first family, your first blood.
Yes, but I think uh they I think they uh, uh I think as I don't know, as parents they should understand, I think, Mas Aidin, because uh if they are in that kind of situation, maybe in the past, I think they will do the same, like they will prioritize their own family, because what I saw in the our society, we exclude the family that is having not having financial issues, but for the family that having financial issues, they were so so what is it
Struggling.
so struggling just to provide themselves. So I think if the parents also demanding for their own sake, I think is not love. I think Mas Haidir, because as parents, I think I will do everything to side my need just to provide my family,
Mhm.
and I want my kids to do that also. I think Mas Haidir.
I need to cool. I need to cool your sentence that is enforcing. Enforcing is not love. It's a it's a double burden.
Yes, Mas Haidir.
Wow, that's so deep. But let's answer number 3, Mas Kobar.
Your parents should live with you when they are old, even if your even if your house is small. It depends if those person if that person is living alone. I think yeah, they should live with them. But if they have family, I think they should not live with them, because it might uh, bring many issues, especially when it comes to wife. I think because uh, if we take care of our parents in the house, it's also makes sense that the wife will what is it will demand the same situation that
Mhm.
the especially when the wife is not working, right? I don't work, and my parents are also old, so they need to live here as well. So I think will bring many issues, because people just don't always stick together, Mas Haidir. So I think it's not wise to bring the parents to the house. I think what we can do is, if we have enough money to rent house to to what is it uh, to move them to those house, even though it's rented, even though it's small, but I think it's okay. But the most complicated one is when we don't even have any money just to rent. That I think it's uh I think eh, I think I think we need to discuss to our to our spouse, right? What choices that can we take, Mas Haidir, because deciding one side only will bring another issue that will broke our family, and the kids will be the most victim, I think, Mas Haidir.
All right. You actually also mentioned number 4. You said if a mother or a father suddenly comes to your house to live or to stay, it will cause a lot of problems or issues, especially specifically to your partner, because there will be most likely clashes or crashes
Yes.
or conflicts between the two. Uh, but what if they're just so matched? They're just meant to be together. I mean, there's no. Yes, I understand, because I also see such conflicts in my house, which my older brother with my sister-in-law, and with my mother. There's always this agreement. But what if I'm talking about a very small case which is impossible to happen? They're just meant to be. They're just matched and connected. There's no such big deal and debates. Do you think there's no
Yeah, I think it's just not wise, because people will always have the different thought, Mas Hadir. Maybe they are so matched when they are not living together, but we don't have a warranty that they will always match when they are living together. So I think uh, uh, the pros is still the same with number three. If we have money to provide them small house, their own house, maybe by buying or maybe just by renting. So I think it's wiser to do that, even though they are so much, Mas Saidi.
Yeah, I agree. I must agree that it's impossible not to have clashes between a different blood, because with the same blood, in the same, with your own siblings, even with your own twins, there's unending conflicts. And just compare it to a, a stranger, a different person, it must be a fake smiles in front of the person. But let's finish our discussion by comparing this Asian culture with US, for example. Elderly people should live in special homes. They shouldn't bother their children. My questions would be, first, why do you think this uh, you know culture existed in the very first beginning? Why there's a totally opposite and different tradition between US and Asian regarding this circumstance? And third, which one do you agree with the most?
I think the differences is because uh, I think we have some roots maybe like religion, maybe like just because of the tradition that is passed from the previous generation and then spread to another location, like because we Asian people is uh, in the history is spreading spreading to to the world so fast and so wider than any other races, as I did. So I think it makes sense that people uh, will bring their tradition, especially regarding to how they treat their parents, and religions are also having big impact in in this kind of treatment. So I think and uh, Western people, I think the US especially, I think they are uh, having many problems in the history, like because the mixing what is it they are mixed by many races in the world, especially the Western people. So and they war each other. They tend to war to each other. So I think uh, they just what is it? Or they what I learned that they are always they always choose the simplest than the most efficient way to do things. I think, Mas Hadir, regardless what impacts that they have in the society. So I think that's also giving impact how they treat their parents. So I think, yeah, because logically, uh, providing giving the facility together to provide the elder is the most efficient way. So I think like the messenger. So I'm not agree with one of those, because I agree with the mix of them. If the kids are can provide the parents, I think it doesn't make sense to bring the parents to the special homes. But if the situations are really limited to the family, so I think it's a best choice to bring them to special homes. So I think the government should prepare the facility to do so. I think, Mas Aidil.
All right. So you mix the both uh, cultures and create your own. That's interesting. But for your information, do you know filial responsibility laws?
Sorry, Mas Aidil.
Have you ever
What is it?
heard about filial responsibility laws?
No, Mas Aidil. I don't think I know.
I don't know. Is it filial or how to pronounce it? Let's check. Okay. I just Google it. Filial. Yes, filial. It's a word in English, means yang berhubungan dengan anak laki-laki atau anak perempuan. But filial responsibility laws means it obligates adult children to provide necessities like food, clothing, housing, and medical attention for their parents who cannot afford to take care of themselves. But I highlighted one of your sentences that say that and this enforcement, taking care of our parents based on love and enforcement are two different things, right?
Yes.
Because it's about voluntarily, or is it sincerely, or is it's just obligated. But my last question would be, why do you think you as societies feel like the children do not have the obligation to take care of the parents at the end of the day? Meanwhile, the parents indeed are required to take care of their children.
Because I think it's as a parents we need to. I think we need because the kids is can provide for themselves from the beginning, like Mas Aidil, but the adult, our parents, are having chance to provide for themselves and to prepare for the future. So I think it's different. So I think parents is absolutely obligated to provide for the kids because they just can, but the parents have their time to prepare. So I think they need to I think it's not obligated to for the kid uh, to to do something to the parent, I think, Mas Aidil.
Wow, yes, that's a really logical, practical reason. But you know what? I also have one opinion regarding this, but it's not practical. It's just about the morality. I feel like the parents have this obligation because they are committed to have children to begin with. They have committed. They intended to make a baby by having a marriage and a sexual intercourse. So regardless of how the children look like in the future, it's another debate. But given the fact they have committed to have children, it means they need to accept and raise the children no matter what, and have the obligation to provide all the necessities for the children. It's a different case for the children. The children do not have the capacity to reject those options. They don't have the choices to be born, right? I think that's the principal justification, but we both agree with this kind of progressive mindset. Thank you very much for today's discussion, Mas.
Mas Aidil.
But it's really interesting. This is the most favorite discussion between us. I really love it. It's already Azan. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you, Mas Aidil.
Have a good day, Mas.